Welcome, everyone, to the Power of Choice. I'm your host, Brice Woodard.
And I'm Jeff Yard. It is great to be back with you all for what is this, Bryce? Episode 10?
Episode 10, a double digit milestone. It feels good. And today, we're doing something a little different. We're diving deep into the book that inspired this whole podcast, The Power of Choice.
Yeah, we've referenced it a bunch, but we've never really dedicated a full episode to just breaking it down. And honestly, the feedback we've gotten, a lot of you have been asking for this. So, here we are.
We're going to try and summarize the core principles, the big takeaways that have really resonated with us. We're talking agency, gratitude, consistency, and curiosity. The big four.
The four pillars, really. And it's funny, I was thinking about this morning. I had a choice. I could hit the snooze button for the third time, which was very tempting, believe me. Or I could choose to get up and get a jump on the day.
The classic snooze button dilemma. A daily test of the will.
Exactly. And it sounds so small, right? But the book argues that our entire life is just a summation of these tiny choices. So I got up and I felt better for it. That's the power we're talking about today.
That's a perfect place to start. So let's kick it off with the first and maybe the most fundamental theme of the book agency.
Agency, right? I mean, this is the foundation everything else is built on. The core idea is that no matter what happens to you, no matter the external circumstances, you always have a choice in how you respond.
Exactly. It's that Viktor Frankl idea, Between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space lies our power to choose our response. That that is agency.
And it's so easy to forget that. Like when you're stuck in traffic and someone cuts you off. The stimulus is the event. The automatic response is, anger, frustration, maybe laying on the horn,
Oh, definitely the horn.
right? But agency is recognizing that little gap. It's the moment you can choose to take a deep breath instead. You can choose to think, maybe they're rushing to the hospital, or just choose to let it go and not let it ruin your morning.
And that's not being passive, which I think is a common misconception. It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about taking control of your internal state. You're choosing not to give someone else the power over your own peace of mind.
That's the key. You're taking your power back. The book says something like, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your choices. And it starts with these micro choices of response. Are you going to be reactive or are you going to be responsive?
Ooh, I like that distinction. Reactive versus responsive. Reactive is the knee jerk, the instinct. Responsive, it's more deliberate, it's conscious. It's using that space we talked about.
Totally. And the more you practice it, the bigger that space gets. It's like a muscle. At first, you might not even notice the gap. You just react. But with practice, you start to see it, and it becomes easier to make a different choice. It's about building self awareness, isn't it? The book calls it the pause, actively creating a moment to check in with yourself before you respond to the world. It's a simple concept, but it's not always easy to execute in the heat of the moment.
It's so true. I mean, I saw you put this into practice just this week, Jeff. That whole situation on Monday morning with that client.
Oh man, don't remind me. Yeah, that was a test. I woke up, looked at my phone, and there's this 5 alarm fire of an email. A huge misunderstanding. The client is panicking, threatening to pull the plug, and my immediate knee jerk reaction was defensiveness. My stomach dropped, my heart started racing. I was ready to fire back an email defending our position.
Which is the totally normal reactive response, right? You feel attacked, you attack back.
Exactly. But I caught myself. I literally saw that little space. I thought about what the book says and I made a choice. I didn't touch the keyboard. I stood up, walked away from the computer, and made a cup of coffee. I just gave myself 5 minutes to breathe and shift from reactive to responsive.
And what happened when you came back to it?
Everything changed. I reread the email, but this time I chose to see it not as an attack, but as a cry for help from a panicked client. They were scared. And by choosing that perspective, my response was completely different. I picked up the phone, called them, and just listened for the first 2 minutes. I said, I hear your frustration. Let's solve this together. And just like that, the whole situation de escalated. We solved the problem in 10 minutes.
That's a perfect example. You didn't change the client's email, you changed your response. You took control of the only thing you could, which was your own internal state. That's agency in a nutshell. What you're describing, it taps directly into a core concept in psychology called the locus of control. It's this idea of where you perceive the control of your life comes from. Is it from within you or from external forces?
Right, exactly. An external locus of control is when you believe your life is controlled by outside factors, fate, luck, other people's decisions. It's the things happen to me mindset. But an internal locus of control, which is what the book champions, is the belief that you are the primary architect of your life. It's the I make things happen mindset. It's the difference between being a passenger and being the driver.
And choosing to cultivate that internal locus of control is the foundation of agency. It's saying no matter what the traffic is, what emails I get, what the economy is doing, I have the ultimate power over my actions and my attitude. I am the one holding the steering wheel. It really does change your perspective from feeling like a victim of circumstances to being an active participant. You realize you're not just the passenger in your own life. You are, in fact, the driver, even if the road is bumpy and the weather sucks.
Especially when the weather sucks. That's when it matters most. It's easy to be the driver on a sunny day with no traffic. It's in the storm that you really find out what you're made of. And that internal choice is the only thing you truly 100% control.
Yeah, that's so true, which actually leads really nicely into the second big theme from the book, which is gratitude.
Gratitude. And it's not just like be thankful in a Hallmark card kind of way. It's presented as a very active choice, a tool.
Right. It's choosing where you place your focus. Your brain can either scan the world for threats and problems, or it can scan for opportunities and things to be grateful for. And what you look for, you find.
It's like putting on a different pair of glasses. The world is the same, but your perception of it completely changes. The book talks about this idea of a gratitude lens. You are consciously choosing to see the world through this lens.
I love that analogy because it acknowledges that the negative stuff is still there. You're not ignoring it or pretending problems don't exist. You're just choosing not to make it your entire field of vision.
Exactly. Think about it. When you're having a bad day, it's so easy to spiral. You spill coffee on your shirt, then you hit traffic, then you get a grumpy email, and suddenly your whole day is terrible.
Oh yeah, the confirmation bias kicks in. You start looking for more things to prove that the day is in fact terrible.
Right. But choosing gratitude is the pattern interrupt. It's stopping and going, okay, this sucks, but I'm grateful for this coffee that I got to drink before I spilled it. I'm grateful I have a car to be stuck in traffic in. I'm grateful I have a job to get grumpy emails at.
And it can sound a bit simplistic or even Pollyannish, but the physiological effect is real. When you actively choose to focus on gratitude, it literally changes your brain chemistry. It reduces stress hormones, it boosts dopamine. It's a choice with a real, tangible benefit.
It's a practical strategy, not just a philosophy. And like agency, it's a muscle. The book recommends simple exercises like a gratitude journal, just writing down 3 things you're grateful for at the end of the day. It trains your brain to start looking for the good.
I've been doing that for about 6 months now, and it's wild how much of a difference it makes. Some days it's easy, I'm grateful for my family, my health. But other days it's like, I'm grateful for this pen that works really well.
But that's the point. It forces you to find the good even in the mundane. It trains your focus. And once you start doing that, you're not just waiting for big, amazing things to happen to feel good. You're actively choosing to find the good in what's already there. And honestly, the old me would have fired off that defensive email, it would have escalated, and we'd have spent the entire week in a miserable back and forth. That one choice to pause saved my entire week.
But what about when things are genuinely terrible? It feels almost dishonest to look for gratitude when you've just been hit with a major life crisis, you know?
That's a crucial point, and the book addresses it directly. It's not about toxic positivity. It's not about pretending the pain isn't there. Gratitude and grief can coexist. It's about finding a counterbalance so the negativity doesn't consume you. There's a story in the book about a woman named Jane who loses her job, a job she loved for 15 years. The devastation is real, and she allows herself to feel it, but she makes a conscious choice every day to also notice the small things she's grateful for. Supportive text from a friend, the extra time with her kids, a sunny day. That small practice didn't magically solve her unemployment, but it kept her from falling into a spiral of despair. It gave her the emotional resilience to keep moving forward, and she eventually used her free time to explore a new career path that she found even more fulfilling.
So gratitude becomes an anchor in the storm, not a denial that the storm is happening. Yeah, it rewires your default setting from scarcity to abundance. And that shift in perspective, it impacts every other choice you make. Which brings us to our third pillar, consistency.
Yes, consistency. If agency is the steering wheel and gratitude is the windshield wiper, then consistency is the engine. It's what actually moves you forward.
I like this car metaphor we've got going on. But it's true. The book argues that we vastly overestimate the importance of big, defining moments and vastly underestimate the value of making small, good choices consistently.
Everyone wants to make the one choice that changes everything. Quit the job, move across the country, start the business. And those things can be powerful, but they're not the whole story.
Not at all. The real transformation comes from the tiny things you choose to do every single day. It's a choice to, like you said, Jeff, not hit snooze. The choice to drink a glass of water instead of soda. The choice to read for 10 pages instead of scrolling on your phone.
Right. It's the atomic habits idea. Small choices, repeated over time, compound into massive results. The book has this great line: you don't decide your future, you decide your habits, and your habits decide your future.
That's it. That's the whole concept in a nutshell. And it's so powerful because it makes change feel accessible. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. You just have to make one slightly better choice and then make it again tomorrow.
It takes the pressure off. Like, if you want to get fit, the goal isn't lose 50 pounds. The choice is put on my running shoes and go for 5 minutes today. That's it. It's a small, consistent choice.
And then the next day, you do it again. And maybe the day after that, it's 6 minutes. The consistency builds momentum. And more than that, it builds a new identity. You're not just someone trying to run, you are choosing to be a runner.
Yes, the identity shift is huge. Every time you make that small choice, you're casting a vote for the type of person you want to be. Each workout is a vote for I'm a healthy person. Each page you read is a vote for I'm a reader.
That makes sense, but it also brings up a classic problem: the sheer scale of our goals. It's easy to say, I want to get fit, or I want to write a book. But the gap between where you are and where you want to be can feel so massive that it's paralyzing. How does consistency help when you feel like you're trying to climb a mountain? Each daily choice to write one page can feel like a tiny drop in a huge bucket. It's easy to lose motivation when the finish line is so far away.
That's the key. The book calls this strategy micro goals. You take the big, scary, overwhelming goal and you shrink it down to a ridiculously small, almost laughably achievable first step. The goal isn't declutter the entire house, which is a recipe for procrastination. The micro goal is declutter one drawer. That's it. Anyone can do that.
And eventually, you get a landslide. The evidence becomes overwhelming. It becomes part of who you are, which makes the choices even easier. The consistency creates a positive feedback loop.
Totally. It's about choosing the process over the outcome, trusting that if you consistently make good choices, the outcome would take care of itself. It's playing the long game.
It really is, which leads us to the fourth and final pillar, which kind of ties everything together.
And again, this is presented as a choice. You can choose to be certain, to be closed off, to think you have all the answers, or you can choose to be curious.
It's the ultimate growth mindset choice, isn't it? It's choosing to say, I don't know, but I'm willing to find out. It's about asking what if and why not.
The book points out that judgment and curiosity can't coexist. When you're judging a situation or a person, you've already made your mind up. You're closed. But when you're curious, you're open, you're exploring.
That's such a powerful frame. So when you're in a disagreement with someone, you can choose judgment. You're wrong, I'm right. Or curiosity. Why do they see it that way? What am I missing?
Exactly. And one path leads to conflict and stagnation, and the other leads to understanding and potential growth. It's also about being curious about yourself. When you fail at something, the judgment choice is, I'm a failure, I'm stupid.
Right, the internal critic goes wild.
Totally. But the curiosity choice is, okay, that didn't work. I wonder why. What can I learn from this? What can I try differently next time? It reframes failure as data, as a lesson. I remember a powerful story about this from the book. A friend once told me I could never land a major client like Visa. The judgment was clear. You're too small. And the easy choice would have been to accept that judgment, to believe it was a closed door.
But you chose curiosity instead.
Exactly. I chose to ask, why not? I spent the next year getting curious. At industry events, I'd meet Visa executives, and instead of pitching them, I'd just ask questions. What are your biggest pain points? What problems keep you up at night? I was genuinely curious about their world. Through that process, I learned about a specific nagging problem they had that my small company was uniquely equipped to solve. When I finally made the pitch, it wasn't a cold call, it was a solution, and we landed them. Curiosity didn't just open a door that judgment had closed, it practically kicked it off its hinges. It connects back to
Agency, doesn't it? If you choose judgment, you're a victim of your failure. If you choose curiosity, you have the agency to learn from it and make a different choice in the future.
It's all interconnected. Agency gives you the power to choose. Gratitude helps you choose a better perspective. Consistency helps you choose effective actions repeatedly. And curiosity ensures you're always choosing growth and learning. They all feed into each other.
Beautifully put. Choosing curiosity it's about embracing the beginner's mind. It keeps life interesting. It opens up new possibilities that you would have been completely blind to if you were stuck in certainty and judgment.
It's the antidote to boredom and cynicism, really. It's hard to be cynical when you're genuinely curious about the world and the people in it.
So true. So, to recap, we have these four pillars: agency, the realization that you always have a choice in your response;
Gratitude, the active choice to focus on what's good, to find abundance in your life right now.
consistency, understanding that small daily choices are what build a remarkable life, not grand one off gestures.
And curiosity, the choice to remain open, to learn and to grow, rather than being stuck in judgment and certainty.
Man, just laying them out like that, it really drives home how simple the concepts are. They're not complex, but they're not necessarily easy to implement. It takes conscious effort. It takes choice.
That's the whole point. The power is in your hands, but you have to choose to use it. Every day, every moment. It's not a destination you arrive at, it's a practice.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap it up. We hope this little summary has been helpful for those of you who have read the book and maybe a good inspiration for those who haven't to pick it up.
Absolutely. So, for our challenge this week, we'd encourage you to just pick one of these four areas, just one, and focus on making a conscious choice in that area every day. Maybe it's finding that space before you react, or writing down 3 things you're grateful for.
A great challenge. Let us know how it goes. You can find us on all the social channels. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to The Power of Choice. I'm Brice Woodard.
And I'm Jeff Yard. Remember, your life is the sum of your choices. Choose well.